Hi guys, welcome back. You are listening to the 18th episode of Just Little Things in Live podcast. I'm Li Hui, your host. Okay, so the day that I'm recording this podcast is 4th of July 2021. And yes, Malaysia is still in lockdown, or we call it as MCO. I mean, there are different versions of MCO, Movement Control Order, but I seriously don't know which version are we in right now, and I don't even want to find out. Because it makes no difference, and things are still bad here, and it seems like it would not get better before next year, 2022, or even 23. So yeah, I mean, the situation in Malaysia right now is kind of depressing, and we are in a dire situation right now. So let's talk about lockdown life. So why do I choose to talk about this topic when there are so many topics that I can talk about? The reason is that I feel like we are all experts right now in lockdown, and we are very experienced because we have been in lockdown for more than a year. So it's time for me to share some of my feelings and thoughts with our listeners. So what does lockdown in Malaysia feels like? The short answer will be it sucks. I mean, lockdown in everywhere sucks. It's kind of pointless to mention this, but in Malaysia, given the situation right now, yeah, that's my true feeling. Right now, this moment, it sucks. So Malaysia has been in MCO for more than a year already, since March 2020, when the first case of COVID is detected. And then it went on and on and on, non-stop, until now, July 2021. So we are seeing other countries getting better and better, like China, Thailand, Singapore, even the US. Malaysians can only look at them and get jealous and envy about them. And then we can just only go back to our own little room to cry. Like, why our country is like this right now? Why are we still in lockdown? And why are the cases still more than 4,000, 5,000 a day? So it's bad here. The situation is really bad here. So I'm not going to discuss about who is responsible for this unsalvageable situation in Malaysia. Apparently, I think everyone is responsible for it. And all we can do right now as a resident in Malaysia is just to stay at home and get vaccinated as soon as possible, and then repeat the cycle, stay at home. By the way, vaccination is not that scary, so please don't get all dramatic about that. I mean, the needle is so thin, it's barely noticeable, and it doesn't sting at all. I mean, probably you will experience fever after the jab, but that's normal. I actually experienced a little bit fever and lethargy after the jab, and afterwards I felt okay. So please guys, please go and register and just get your vaccine. So also a week ago, I saw a news about a white flag campaign. It actually all started on from Twitter first, and then it spread throughout the social media. It's on hashtag Bendera Putih. So according to an article on the Straits, this white flag campaign encourages affected families to hang a white flag or cloth in front of their homes so the neighbors can render immediate assistance. The campaign signals the growing desperation of Malaysians as they struggle to continue putting food on table amid an indefinite lockdown that resulted in job losses and income. So if you understand the above statement, Malaysians right now, we are really going through a hard time, financially, mentally, like everything. We are going through a really hard time right now. Especially some professions, they have been furloughed or they couldn't go to work properly since March 2020 because of the COVID, of the lockdown. So some of these professions will be like hawkers, bus drivers, non-essential services workers. And actually, these professions, they made up a major part of Malaysians' occupation. So you can see how bad is our economic situation right now, because if you can't go to work, you have no salary, which means no money, right? Then you can't put food on the table. Actually, when I first read about this news and heard about this white flag campaign, my heart wrenched. It felt like the situation in Malaysia will not get better anymore, and there's no more hope. We cannot deny that our government's incompetency, the inefficient policy measures that were implemented have led to this dire situation. but also some irresponsible, childish, and selfish residents of Malaysia that did not realize how serious the situation is now, how fucked up our economy is now. And they are still, they go on with their life if nothing happened. And people are losing jobs, people are having financial pressure, and people are even having mental problems because of this. So actually, according to an article on the Straits Times, since January, the Health Ministry has received more than 122,000 calls via its help hotlines, requesting emotional and psychological support related to the loss of jobs and incomes, as well as family and marital problems. The authorities have also recorded 336 suicide cases between January and March, or an average of about 4 cases every day. The 3-month figure is more than half of what was reported throughout 2020. So yeah, we are all in this dire situation. We all need help. And if you need help, please go seek for help. There's nothing wrong or guilty about seeking for help. And also, guys, please do your part. Stay home, get your vaccine, and most importantly, stay alert but not anxious. Okay, a quote by Dr. Mike. Okay, so but fortunately, some business chains, they announced publicly that they will support the White Flag campaign. Like for example, the mini market chain, the 99 Speed Mart, which has said that it will be preparing 1,000 goodwill packages daily to support the initiative. So if you have the ability to help, no matter it's financially or mentally or just support, in any way, please help each other, please support each other, because we really need to support each other right now, take care of ourselves, and move on with our life. Okay, so let's move on from this topic. So guys, what did you do during the lockdown? I'm sure that all of you have been doing something, right? It's been more than a year already. So what have you achieved this year? So for students, except for studying, what have you achieved this year? What have you done this year? So for example, you might have discovered a new hobby, or you might have discovered a new series of drama and you're binge-watching right now. So any possible thing that you are doing right now, if you want to share with me, please leave a comment below. Okay. So for my lockdown, I was actually in my gap year. And one of the reasons that I took the gap year is also because of the pandemic, and I don't wish to have like a fully online 1-year class. So yeah, I took the gap year. So at first, I finished my A-levels. And after finishing it, it was so boring. Like any young adults, I played my phone all day and I repeat it the next day. So it progressed for like 2 weeks time, and I felt bored. Life was meaningless and every day was the same. It was just mundane, and I felt like I need to explore something new. Then accidentally, I think by fate, I clicked into a Blackpink house video, and since then I got sucked into this K-pop world, and it literally changed my life. Yeah. Previously, I didn't actually listen to K-pop songs at all. I only listened to English and Chinese songs. And because of that video, I started to listen to K-pop music, to Korean singers. And yeah, I learned a lot from it. And because of it, I decided to learn a new language. You guys get it? I decided to learn Korean. And I'm still learning right now, but I'm getting better and better and better. I can proudly say that I'm an intermediate learner of Korean right now. Yeah, so very proud of myself. And one word to describe my lockdown life since March 2020 to July 2021, it will be exploration. Because all I had was time. I could explore and try different things, try new things, pick up some hobbies along the process. And I actually realized that each time when we do something new, or just a random thing, or just the daily routine, it could be just a new discovery for us. Like we learn something along the way, and we dig deeper and deeper and deeper in the field. Of course, I'm actually a pretty standard person. I don't actually like too much changes in my daily routine, but that doesn't mean that I hate changes. I'm always welcoming diversity and I'm starting to accept changes in my life. So my lockdown life. In the morning, I will wake up around 9 a.m. But recently, I don't think that I wake up that early. It would be a little bit later because I slept quite late in night after the midnight. So yeah, it has started this evil cycle and I'm actually trying to adjust my clock back to the normal timing. So yeah. And after the morning wake up and brushing my teeth, bath myself, I will just start my day by learning Korean. Actually, it doesn't matter how long I learn Korean a day. It could be just 30 minutes, 1 hour, or even 2 hours. As long as I start my day with learning Korean, it just feels right to me. I think that this consistency has led to where I am right now, an intermediate speaker. Oh yeah, how about we talk about consistency in the future episode? Is it okay? Okay, so after learning Korean, I will just go through some important stuff to do, like some emails, and I will have my lunch in the afternoon and continue to do my work. So when I was in my gap year, my full-time job was teaching tuition, and it started after 2 p.m. until the evening or sometimes until the night. So later on, in the later part of my day, I'll just have my dinner, bath myself, and just go to sleep. Frankly, I'm not a movie person or a drama person. I don't actually binge watch drama or even movies. So far in my gap year, I only watched like a few drama. Grey's Anatomy season 17, 911 season 4, Hotel Del Luna, IU, definitely a fan of IU. And yeah, I don't actually watch that much of drama. But actually, I picked up a reading habit. So I read before I sleep. And to be honest, reading actually helps my sleeping a lot. So if you guys are suffering from insomnia, I highly recommend you to read before you sleep. Like put away your phone and read. It helps a lot. I don't actually know about the scientific research behind reading related to sleeping, but from my experience, reading calms my mind, relaxes my eyes from a long day after of staring at screens, and I fell asleep faster. So it's fair to say that reading has increased my sleeping quality. So how about in the future, I will do an episode about sleeping and I will try to include some of the scientific evidence behind it. Sounds good to you? So that's pretty much of today's episode, Life in Lockdown. Definitely, it has been more than a year since the lockdown has started, and I really wish to get back to the normal life that I have back then. So please, guys, please just do your part, get vaccinated, and stay at home. Also, use your lockdown time wisely. There are so many things that you can do other than scrolling your social medias or watching YouTube prank videos. So get yourself outside your comfort zone. Try to explore something new to you or dip your toes into something that you felt afraid to do back then or because you have no time to do back then. So it's time for you to try those things out. Okay, guys, promise me, huh? So today, instead of a song, a book, or a movie recommendation, I would want to recommend a TV program to you all. It's called Begin Again. It's a South Korean TV program which airs on JTBC. Up until now, in total, there are 4 seasons of this TV program, Begin Again. So this TV program invites reputable musicians from South Korea to travel overseas to places where no one knows anything about them. They will introduce themselves to the people in other countries through their musical performances. And in other words, they are trying to connect with people through music. So if you guys are really looking out for a new TV series to watch, I will highly recommend this. Personally, I discovered a lot of new artists, musicians, and new songs through this program. The songs chosen in these programs are really good songs. At least they fit into my taste of music. And also the videography of this TV series is really outstanding and extremely aesthetic. After watching a TV program, you will feel like it's okay to slow down in your life, to appreciate some things more like music. And music is life. Life is music, right? And also on Spotify, there are actually playlists made for this TV series. If you don't have the time to watch all the episodes like me, you can just look out for the playlist on Spotify and listen to it. Then you can discover new songs and new artists. Okay, so I hope you enjoy the TV series Begin Again, or at least listen to the Spotify playlist Begin Again Korea playlist. Okay, so I will see you at our next episode. Goodbye.